Rulemaking is only an area that states how an agency understands a statute. So if a judge is using interpretive rulemaking, he is working in the agency corporate definition, and that's how he defines that statute. Okay? The problem is when he makes the definition, it doesn't have the force of law. Although they use the color of law. See, there's a difference. Force of law versus force of color of law. Okay? So what does that mean to you as a citizen, as an individual? That means that you are guilty till you prove yourself innocent. The magistrate here in Idaho will deny you and bring forth any evidence that proves your innocence. And the jury will only see one side and will be given orders by the magistrate to find you guilty, known as jury instructions. Now the jury instructions are curtailed to exactly what the corporate jurisdiction wants. So if you have something you want to put in there, the judge denies it, even though it protects you. Okay? And we have lots of cases across the state of Idaho that we can prove this is happening across the states, the whole state of Idaho, not just here in Banacre or Bonneville or Cassia or Ada. You know, this is happening throughout every county. And this is where you have to have the area to understand that Idaho ranks #1 in the country for incarceration per capita. Okay? Idaho is truly one of the major police states out of all 50. Okay? So that corporate jury that only heard the corporate side of instruction judges you by the color of law, which means basically that you're under the corporate agency policy. They don't like what you're doing. They don't care about the Republic form of government. They want a corporate democracy. You're hung, whatever the case may be. Okay? Thomas Jefferson, he once said, he wrote a letter to Edward here, Carrington. And this is what it says: if once they, meaning the people, became inattentive to the public affairs, you and I and Congress and assemblies, judges and governors should all become wolves. It seems to be the law of our general nature. In spite of individual exceptions, and experience declares that man is the only animal which devours his own kind. For I cannot apply the milder term to the government of Europe and to the general prey of the rich on the poor. Okay? In other words, when we fall asleep, look what's taken place. Government devours everything, and right now the people have fallen asleep. Okay? This is standing. And this is where the answer is to everything that we're talking about that's going on. This is a case that came out March 1st in 2010. Okay? Now, on this particular case, what took place was an individual was driving. He went to an AA meeting, and in the AA meeting, the police came, knocked on the door, asked him if he was there. They said it was an AA meeting. It was anonymous. The police broke in, found the guy sitting there, grabbed him, handcuffed him, stuffed him, and took him to jail. The reason why is because somebody reported him driving while intoxicated. So, under the Ashworth case, Gutierrez of the Idaho Supreme Court in the appellate, this is what he said: if Ashworth could have had standing to challenge the search of the meeting, he did not meet his burden to show as much for this instance. In other words, he never took the opportunity in the lower courts to bring in his constitutional rights and protection, or to prove that the corporate name is only used for corporations and it's not the real person. Okay? So, when he said this, he also wrote that the defendants from this date forward within the municipal part of the state needed to go ahead and prove their standing. Okay, they needed to prove their standing. Otherwise, the state would not give them the opportunity to show that they were constitutional on that side of the government. Okay, and I know it's very confusing. But this is where we're going to try to break it down. Standing simply means this: your domicile is deemed in 3 sorts. You have domicile of birth, that's where you was born; domicile of choice, a solemn declaration; and a domicile of operational law, which is the presumption. Okay? Now, currently, everybody lives under the presumption because of your corporate name and your corporate status, until you do a domicile of choice. That's where the citizens of Idaho comes in. Through our paperwork and allowing us to be able to take that presumption away, we are able to go ahead and help you as an uniform, unincorporated nonprofit association. Here in Idaho, under Title 53-707, we have the capacity to assert and defend your constitutional standing. Okay? A nonprofit association, its name may institute, defend, intervene, or participate in a judicial, administrative, or other governmental proceeding in arbitration, mediation, or any other alternative dispute resolution. A nonprofit association may assert a claim on its name or on behalf of its members if one or more of the members of the nonprofit association have standing to assert a claim in their own right. The interest of the nonprofit association seeks to protect are germane to the purpose, and either the claim asserted or the relief requested requires participation of a member. Now, that's a lot of words, and it can get to be kind of confusing. Basically, what that means is that we have the ability to intervene in any of the judicial, administrative, any type of resolution, let it be in business, non-business, governmental, what have you. Okay? So we are the true mediators for the true Republic State of Idaho. Now, you have to understand again, where do you want to live? By doing your standing and getting everybody to understand the court systems, and this again is just one of the very beginning areas of learning, we have to understand that we need to maintain our sovereignty in the constitutional principles of the state of Idaho and get back to that area of municipal outside of the full corporation status. That actually is the protection we're looking for. And so when we move forward as a county and as the direction that we're going, we will have the ability to not only take back the monies that's hidden, because there's all this money hidden in CAFRs, which is your comprehensive annual financial report, which has pension funds and all this kind of money that's been taken from the general public in support of these pension funds, where there's so much money there that's been stacked up that these pension funds maintain themselves no matter if you took 2/3 of it away from it and gave it back to the general people. And if you did that, gave 2/3 of the pension fund money that's been stashed, okay, back to the general population, on an average, most people in the state of Idaho would be receiving a check anywhere from $200,000 and up. Want to stimulate the economy? Quit stealing money from the people, give it back to the people, let people take the responsibility for themselves, not to be entitled to everything, and just give what we've put in. It's very simple. And again,